It's Wednesday morning. We're midway through the week now. We have some great stories for you to enjoy today. Here's what's ahead.
Today, Brian Holman discusses the recent snowfalls and their long-term effect on the drought. Find out how much moisture will be needed to break the cycle. Next, he's at Premier Farm and Home talking with Chad about managing spring weeds. Then Cindy Campbell tells us what documentation each segment of the beef industry wants in order to help achieve the high-quality beef target. And finally, on our Healthy Yard segment, learn tips to prepare your garden for growing blueberries. Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers and the Kansas Wheat Commission. Together, we are Kansas Wheat.
Justin, thanks for joining us this morning.
Always great to be with you, Brian.
Moisture, it's tough for everybody, but especially for the wheat farmers here in the state of Kansas. Finally got a little bit of reprieve coming into February, had some nice snows. Does it help?
It does help. You know, every little bit helps, Brian. And when with our crop conditions the way they were in not just Kansas, but through the southern plains, through the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, there were some serious conditions. When you looked at the crop condition ratings going into dormancy at the end of fall, early winter, they were the worst crop condition ratings for the southern plains that we'd had since they'd been recording those in the last 30 years. So the crop condition report that came out just on Monday does still reflect those poor conditions out there, where Kansas was at 23% good and only 1% excellent. We're hoping that we see a rebound in that, but it's going to take more than this crop because it was so dry, going way back to the fall crop or the summer crops, and then harvested in the fall and what got planted this last fall. It's been so dry that it's going to take more than just one or two rain events or moisture events to break out of this cycle. So we saw good moisture anywhere from along the Colorado-Kansas border. South Central Kansas got two rain events. They got that first round of snow that came in and got close to a foot of snow down south of Wichita. And then came back with another 8 inches of snow after that. And so Sumner County is going to be, that's going to help them out. And then eastern Kansas and central Kansas got some rain, but we're going to need more, that's for sure. But this, you're right, this is a little bit of a reprieve.
Well, the thaw and freeze events that are kind of going on, and what happened in Kansas, I mean, it could be snowing one day and a week later it could be 70 degrees. Is that devastating to the crop also?
Not quite yet. Right, so we're just starting to break dormancy in the southern part of the state. As that crop's still in dormancy, we've got pretty good winter hardiness bred into our winter wheats that we grow in Kansas, and so we're not seeing that impact yet. We're going to get more concerned about that. Really cold nights is we're still about a month away from that where it could actually hurt the wheat. Right now, we're more concerned about replenishing the topsoil moisture. Because there's really no subsoil moisture whatsoever, especially out in western Kansas. If we can get that, so we can get some moisture into that root structure, the crown into the plant, I think it can carry it on. But it's going to be what this snow bought us was about 30 days. And so if we don't get follow-up rain, we're going to be right back where we were because our subsoil moisture is just that dire straits.
Well, at what point in time do people take a look at the crop and go, it's salvageable or not salvageable?
I think guys in western Kansas are thinking that now. They're looking at what didn't come up in the fall and trying to figure out if those plants that they're going out and digging up seeds right now to see if that plant germinated and to see if it's dead. There'll be some decisions made here in the next couple of weeks to see after getting this round of moisture if they go out and they can find a lot of dead plants that are not growing. There are going to be a lot of decisions about abandonment. I think the abandonment stories we're hearing probably is a lot worse in Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, that Southwest Kansas area. We'll see where it ultimately ends up, but I'm expecting, at least for those areas, we'll probably see a higher than average abandonment just because of the crop didn't come up in the fall.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by SureCrop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Now another gardening tip with Annette Jackson.
For the greenest, healthiest, weed-free lawn in your neighborhood, the Fertilome Lawn Care program is the best. Fertilome Lawn Care products provide your lawn with the exact ingredients for proper fertilization and weed prevention. Jackson's friendly staff will call you to let you know when to apply the next step. We can also do it for you, so call or stop in now.
The Fertilome Lawn Care program is still available at last year's prices, but hurry, time is limited.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop liquid crop nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Welcome back to the show. We're out at Premier Farm and Home and spending some time with Chad.
How you doing, Brian?
Good. You know, our relationship's like the grass. It goes dormant during the winter.
It does. I don't know you anymore.
I know. So spring comes around, you and I start rekindling.
We got to figure out what to do about your yard.
Well, that's true. That's exactly right. So talking about the yard, let's talk about the weather. We're coming into, we're now into spring. Doesn't necessarily feel like it's spring, but we're coming into spring, and let's talk about what we should expect.
Well, you know, the weather's up in the air. You know, all I can tell you about is what's happened, okay? What happened was we had a very short year where we didn't have the water that we'd expected. So, you know, we came off in January, we were about 12 inches behind in water, and that's an incredible amount of water, Brian. So I did a little math, which I think is really boring for everybody, but it might be fun. Let's see if it's fun. But we put together a little presentation at the Kansas Garden Show, and it kind of talked about the drought and how to handle things and going on there. And we found that by doing a little calculation, if you're 12 inches of water short and you're trying to water an acre, and let's say you had a garden hose and you kicked it on and you ran that garden hose for 17 days straight on an acre, you would put down half the water you're short.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, you know, it's an incredible problem. Droughts, you know, and we've been very fortunate to get some moisture here lately, and I think that's starting to turn things around for us, give us a little hope again. You know, we weren't quite as depressed as we were, you know, maybe a month or two ago. But we're still a long ways out, so hopefully the spring moisture can get us where we need to be.
Well, let's talk about that. As the governor talks with his drought committee that he's put together, at any point in time, do you see water restrictions coming down? I know you're not part of that or on policy, but I mean, what if we have water restrictions coming down?
Brian, water restrictions are very common in other areas, especially where the water table or the groundwater is their only source of water. So cities like Hayes have been through their water regulatory. For that city, for example, they had to run out of water, and then they're like, oh, we better work on restrictions here. You know, we're going to run out.
Right.
So those have happened. Restrictions on well waters have already occurred. And oftentimes what the first level of restrictions is, they'll say houses with even numbers can water Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Houses with odd numbers can water Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or something to that effect. And that's the first level of restriction. So I think it's certainly a possibility, and we have seen it. But people just need to be aware of how precious water is as a resource, and if we all kind of work together and use it wisely, then we don't have to go into water restrictions, you know.
I think this comes back to good weed management also, because if your grass is fighting for water or those resources against weeds, they're going to lose out.
Yeah. That's weeds compete for three things: water, light, and food, and that's the only thing your plant needs to survive. So that's kind of tough.
Right.
You know, they're right in there with it. And water can be used at times when your grass is dormant. Like right now, we have some winter annuals that might be popping up that show themselves in spring, suck up a lot of water there early in the year. Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about spring weeds.
Yep.
And battling those pesky spring weeds. We'll see you in just a minute.
All right.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
I'm Dennis Tebow. My wife and I, Kathy, are the owners of Wolf Creek Cattle Company. We have grown to approximately 70 bulls.
I'm Reese Arnold. I'm the livestock manager at Wolf Creek Cattle Company. You know, these are not just like normal cattle. These cattle, they're hauled anywhere from, 8 to 10 hours a day across the United States and asked to perform. The Multi-Man 90 keeps them kind of level. It maintains and balances their system. The stress level is less when, when everything's right and working right, then they're working right.
This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Thanks for staying with us, Chad. Thank you for staying with us.
Sure.
As we left the first segment, we were talking about water and it led us into weeds. Let's talk about spring weeds. As we're coming into spring, it never fails. We see a bunch of little different things that we don't see year round. They just come up during the spring. How do we manage those?
Right, and Brian, primarily what you're going to find in your yard are winter annuals. And you say winter, well, it's springtime. Well, what happened is that October, November time frame, a lot of these small, what I call sneaky plants, just germinated and they sat there as these little bitty seedlings. So they're all ready to just jump and start off right in the spring. So some examples of those would be henbit and chickweed. Everybody fights chickweed, everybody fights henbit. And their survival strategy is, I'm going to be up first before the yard wakes up, before anything happens, before anybody's ready to go, and I'm going to come up, produce flowers and seed, and I'm going to do it fast. And so what happens is a lot of people have these little gaps.
And those are the little yellow flowers, right?
There's the little yellow flowers.
Purple?
They're actually purple flowers, and then the chickweed has white flowers, and then that dreaded yellow flower that we all see, dandelions, those come a little bit later. But they're there. They're already in your yard, and that's what a lot of people wonder where it all came from. Well, they're there. They just jump on you. So early in the spring, a lot of times people will get excited about the fact that they have these weeds, and the thing you have to remember is they're not long-term. So You know, they're a month or two, their life cycle's over. Continue to mow them is one way to get it. If you are frustrated with it, you can use a broadleaf herbicide, but it has to have an additive like carfentrazone. So you'll hear the term zone in the names, like weed-free zone, speed zone. You know, that indicates that it has this additional chemical in it, which is called carfentrazone. What that does, it burns it down the next day for you. It's probably, I think, Brian's favorite chemical because it happens that
here today, gone tomorrow.
Here today, gone tomorrow. So he really likes to use that. So do I. I mean, and it helps you also in cool weather because cool weather, it can be very difficult to kill them because they're not growing fast yet.
And we got to get to them before they seed, because those seeds will set on the surface and then in October, November, start to germinate again. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
That's the cycle. Good. So remember, weeds are the symptom. They're not the problem. So, you know, we've had a rough summer, rough fall again. So we haven't got the density in our yards that we're used to. And so these winter annuals are going to jump up and take advantage of it. And that's something we just have to be diligent with and keep working on our management.
Pre-emergent is one thing that we've talked about for the last couple of years, but if you're going to seed your yard in the spring, pre-emergent's not going to work for you.
Right. Well, first let's talk about pre-emergent. Pre-emergent will not take care of your winter annuals unless you put it on in October. So some folks do put on some of those pre-emergents at that time, and it does a pretty good job. But if we put it on this spring, it is a pre-emergent for everything that comes up from seed, including your grass. So you want to make sure that we don't put those in the same spot.
Make sure we get additional information on haycow.com.
That's right.
And plenty of seed. If someone's looking for seed for the spring, come out and... That's
correct. We've got that. And we've also got a copy of that long, boring drought presentation that we did at the Kansas Garden Show. That's also up on our website.
Perfect. Jeff, good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, too.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Purple Wave is a proud supporter of the Kansas FFA through the Bid for Blue program. Purple Wave donates a portion of the proceeds earned on certain ag assets to the Kansas FFA. Winning bidders can designate a Kansas chapter to receive the donation. To date, Purple Wave is proud to have donated over $10,000. Visit purplewave.com to learn more and to place bids on Bid for Blue assets. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production.
In the last 3 years, we've changed some things in our AI protocol, one of which was the use of multi-min. We've seen a significant increase in our AI pregnancy rate. The cost of an embryo program is significant, and we feel that if we were able to even get one more pregnancy out of a cow, that would pay for the whole cost of the whole bottle of multi-min right there.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook. Stop by or visit us at sftmeats.com.
Everyone loves a good story, especially if it's one with a happy ending.
All sectors of the industry, it doesn't matter whether you're buying feeder cattle or beef, they want more information attached to that product that will allow them to make good decisions regarding their purchasing.
The kind of story buyers want depends on the market sector, Belk says, and it grows as a product moves from farm to fork.
Feeders want to know what was the health management background of these calves before they buy them. But retailers want to know, okay, where were they produced? Were they produced with good animal well-being practices? And so they want information attached to them, and you can see that as you move along the production chain, the amount of information that needs to be attached to them actually increases.
Cattle feeder Kenny Knight expects cattle to arrive at his Lyons, Kansas yard with documentation he can pass on to the next buyer.
Our goal has always been to get as close to the end user as possible with a product that's either branded or certainly where they know where their meat is coming from. And if we've got a paper trail all the way through, not only on the source and the age, but on the vaccinations, I think that's important to the consumer. And if it's important to the consumer, it's important to us.
For cattlemen, the first reward comes from supplying those details, so buyers will pay an information premium. Belk says the next chapter should include more than the basics.
If we start adding to that then, things like how were the cattle treated, when were they treated, did they meet withdrawal times, those sorts of things, that's going to continue to add value to that. So those ranchers that can take advantage of systems that allow them to add that kind of information to the identity of their cattle will reap the benefit of them being able to tell the story of their beef.
That's a tale ranchers, feedlot managers, packers, and consumers can all enjoy. I'm Cindy Campbell.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Premier Farm and Home. Stop by or visit us at haycow.com.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Dr. Dan here. Whether I'm driving up and down the roads covering the state of Kansas or I'm getting between Riley and Manhattan for my job, I'm driving a Ford truck. I'd like you to come out and visit my friends here at Dick Edwards Ford. They have a truck that'll suit your needs, whether you're looking for power with a Power Stroke diesel, or if you're looking for fuel efficiency with the new EcoBoost engine, they got a truck that's just right for you. They're located 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall in Manhattan, Kansas, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. And I'll see you down the road.
Nobody gives you more ways to play and more reasons to stay than Prairie Band Casino and Resort. 3 great restaurants, Players Club benefits, plus an award-winning golf course. Go for it. You'll find something new and exciting every day, just north of Topeka off Highway 75.
Prairie Band Casino and Resort. Go for it!
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by K-State Research and Extension. Knowledge for life.
The main thing is check the pH of that soil. Blueberries like a pH right around 5.0. They'll take between 4.8 and 5.2, maybe as high as 5.5. But our soils in Kansas tend to be much higher than that. 6.5 in this part of the state. You get into western Kansas, they'll be 7.5, 8, even higher than that. That's one of the reasons it's so difficult to grow them out there. Even in the eastern part of the state, normally you need to drop the pH. And if we're at 6.5, we need to get it down to 5. We need to use sulfur in order to get that pH down to where it needs to be. And that takes time. And so with blueberries, it's always better if you start a year ahead of time. If you can get all your preparation done the year before, you're going to have much more success than if you try to plant them the same year you do your prep. This is what we call a pelletized sulfur. Having it in a pellet form allows us to spread it much easier than we would be able to with a dust. You don't just want to put it on top, it needs to be tilled in so that it actually modifies that whole top layer of soil 6 to 8 inches deep. The other things you need to do as far as preparation is concerned is good weed control. If you have any perennial weeds such as bindweed or Bermuda, that may take a full year to get under control, and so it's important you do that. And then the third thing is add organic matter. Blueberries like lots of organic matter. Again, do that the year before. You can build that up so when you're ready to plant that second year, everything is perfect for those plants. Make sure you start with good, clean material. Buy it from a reputable nursery where they guarantee those plants are going to be virus and disease free. If you bring in clean plants, you're not going to have much problem with disease. Really, the only problem we have here is not with insects or disease, but with birds. Birds like blueberries, and therefore, if you don't net these plants often, you're going to have trouble with birds eating them before you have a chance to.
For more information, visit your local extension office or visit our website at kansasgreenyards.org.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
Thanks for joining us today. Look for us every weekday morning at this same time. Now, to see these stories again, go to agaminkansas.com 24/7. Eric Atkinson here from K-State Research and Extension.